December 23, 1981. A cold afternoon in St. John's, Newfoundland. 14-year-old Dana Bradley stood on the side of the road, thumb out, hoping for a ride home after an afternoon of Christmas shopping with friends. It was a common practice back then, especially on a familiar route like Topsail Road. She accepted a ride in a small car, waved goodbye to her friends, and was never seen alive again. When Dana didn't return home for dinner, her family's concern grew into panic. A massive search began almost immediately. Hundreds of volunteers, friends, and family scoured the frigid roads and dense woods, calling her name, desperate for any sign. The entire community held its breath, hoping for the best, but fearing the worst. 4 days later, on December 27th, a group of teenagers riding trail bikes made a devastating discovery in a wooded area just south of the city. It was Dana's body. The news sent a shockwave of grief and fear across the entire country. An autopsy confirmed she had been violently attacked, and her death was ruled a homicide. What followed was one of the largest and most exhaustive criminal investigations in Canadian history. Police pursued thousands of leads, interviewing hundreds of people and exploring countless theories. The pressure to find her killer was immense. Every car that matched the vague description was checked, and every potential suspect was scrutinized. But despite their relentless efforts, the case hit dead end after dead end. No charges ever stuck. Then, in 1986, a flicker of hope. A man named David Somerton confessed to Dana's murder. It seemed like the break everyone had been waiting for, but just as quickly as the confession came, it was taken back. Somerton recanted his statement, and with no physical evidence to support his initial admission, prosecutors had no choice but to drop the charges. The case went cold, leaving a community and a family trapped in a state of unresolved grief. For nearly 35 years, the file gathered dust. Dana's story became a haunting local legend, a cautionary tale whispered from one generation to the next. But the quest for justice never truly died. In 2016, the case was suddenly thrust back into the spotlight. A man, identified only as Robert, came forward with a shocking claim. He said he was there that day. He was a child in the back seat of the car that picked Dana up. He alleged that a family friend was the driver and that he had witnessed the abduction. Robert's testimony was a bombshell, pointing the finger at a specific individual and offering a new, detailed account of Dana's last moments. His story led investigators to a very specific target: a car, believed to be the one used in the crime, buried deep within a local landfill for decades. Initially, authorities were hesitant to fund such a long-shot excavation, but Robert's friends, convinced by his story, privately funded the dig. The media watched, and the public held its breath as a rusted vehicle was unearthed from its grave. Hopes were high, but forensics found no usable evidence, no definitive link to Dana. It was another heartbreaking setback. But technology had one more card to play. As forensic science advanced, so did the ability to analyze old evidence. Investigators turned their attention back to the original crime scene materials, armed with new DNA testing techniques. In a major announcement, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police revealed a breakthrough. They had successfully developed a DNA profile of an unknown male suspect from evidence found at the scene. This didn't name the killer, but it was a monumental step forward. For the first time, investigators had a concrete tool. They could now definitively exclude individuals who didn't match the profile, narrowing down the massive list of potential suspects that had accumulated over the decades. The investigation, once cold, was now active and focused. Today, the Dana Bradley case remains officially unsolved. It stands as a profound symbol of loss, a story of a bright young life cut tragically short. But it's also a powerful story of perseverance, the unwavering resolve of a community, the courage of a new witness, and the incredible power of modern science have kept the hope for justice alive. For Dana's family, and for everyone touched by her story, the search for answers continues, more determined than ever. Thank you for watching.